Will Blake Lively cut her losses and settle with Baldoni? Where are we now with Nancy Guthrie? And I mean right now. And Jeff Bezos has done a lot to appease Donald Trump. Like any good gangster, though, Trump is just one more ask, threat, demand. You know, here we go. It's Hot Mics with Billy Bush, presented by our friends at LAGOLF. Hot Mics with Billy Bush. Great title. You know it. All right, guys. Hi. Welcome to Hot Mics. Thanks for joining us on TuneIn, Facebook, YouTube. We are live. You can hop in the comments section with anything that's percolating. We begin with Blake, and we're going to get to Nancy Guthrie. For sure, we've got an excellent guest today who has seen it all. He was the point man in the Amanda Knox investigation. Really deeply experienced when it comes to abduction, kidnapping, any type of investigation like this. So Paul Ciolino will be with us. Looking forward to that because I got questions, man. I need to know what the hell is going on with this investigation. But let's begin with what's happening in the New York conference room now. I guess it's, the judge is there. But Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are together in a settlement conference. Now, by law, a judge has to attempt to get them to settle. In this case, attempt the impossible. I don't see that this could possibly happen. Remember, there was a summary judgment motion filed by Team Baldoni, and it was heard by Judge Lewis Lyman, the U.S. District Judge, on January 22nd. No ruling on that. Still. And by the way, I mean, that was going to go one of three ways. The judge was going to throw it out. He was going to take it in full or partially throw out some elements and move on and actually take it to trial May 18th. We still have no ruling today. Listen, I will change my name to Francis Penelope Winbash IV and skip instead of walk where'er I go if they actually reach a deal today. Blake Lively suffers from LAS, Lance Armstrong syndrome, which means she's balls deep, or I guess ball deep, and cannot get out. Right? She's just the point of no return. So the trial date is May 18th. That's probably going to happen. All right. They arrived today for their conference. Let's look at the arrivals. Here we go. Justin Baldoni in a nice, beautiful, long cashmere beige skirt with a nice trench coat, beautiful olive colored right there, earth tones for his wife, Emily, as well. Total rock star. She's had his back the whole way. Emily's fired some social posts on her own. Here comes Blake. Yes, an olive sort of blazer with matching pants. She's got the boots rocking, a cardigan with a whatever. In she comes. No Ryan Reynolds, though. Ryan wants, he's very busy, probably shooting, filming something, or saying, my reputation can't handle any more of this, baby. You're on your own. And by the way, in a Ryan Reynolds versus Emily Baldoni spouses battle, I got Emily every single time. All right, for the latest and what's going on with this crazy, and we're still going through these depositions and learning things. It's kind of like the Epstein files of the celebrity gossip world, right? You're just tons and tons of deposition to go through and documents to go through. And one person who does it better than anyone is Els Rich. We love Elsie, and she joins us right now. Elsie, my love, there you are. You never take a breath. You are all over this, all of the time. Honey, I assume the judge is pushing them to settle because he has not ruled on that summary judgment motion from January 22nd, and I think he wants to not have to. So it won't happen. I can't imagine it happens. But what do you think is going on in that conference room right now?
I don't know what to expect. I don't know that I expected them to be in there this long. I mean, they started at 10 o'clock and it's 1 p.m. Eastern now. But all I know is pretty much, at least if we're going to go on what the docket told us, this has nothing to do with Judge Lyman, right? Judge Lyman has his hands nowhere in this. This is all Judge Sarah Cave, the magistrate, and she's pretty much playing middleman right now, playing mediator. Blake is going to bring what she wants, right? Blake is going to serve up what she wanted, which was actually due. Right at this point, both sides know what each other is asking for and what each other has denied. Right now, the judge is just there to help them sort it out. So we know on January 28th, the judge had Blake Lively send her demands to Justin Baldoni's team. February 4th, Justin Baldoni's team responded to Blake saying, you sooner go to the 90s and get some crack cocaine.
I mean, listen, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are people who actually wrote a PR statement in the very beginning of all this, August of 2024. Ryan Reynolds wrote the most diabolical PR, press release and said, here, I've taken the liberty to write this for you, Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath. Just put your names at the bottom of it. This is a statement that will go out to the press that says you unequivocally are at fault for everything terrible that happened on this set to Blake and the other cast members. You ran an awful set and you apologize for that. Here, fall on the sword and sign your names to it, which is literally crazy that Deadpool is taking his time out to go needle that far into his wife's production like she couldn't handle herself in there. I'm sure her demands on this probably involved some kind of giant mea culpa on his part and all of that. Not really a money thing. You get that impression that this isn't really about money. This is about face.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to need some money if they still want their kids to go to college, because when they're done with these lawyers, they're going to be in deep. So they're still going to want some money. But at the end of the day, I think more than anything, Blake Lively would like, I think both sides, Blake Lively would like for Justin Baldoni to say, mea culpa, I lied. I'm the liar. I'm the one that dragged this whole thing out for no reason. And I'm sorry, and it's my fault. And Justin would like the same thing from her, pretty much saying, I made this all up. It was postpartum depression. It was my husband made me do it. Everybody else made me do it. So right now, I feel like as much as they're in deep, all of them, money-wise, and they've paid all these lawyers generational wealth, like these lawyers, kids will always eat because of this case. I think right now, each side would just rather one person say, I'm sorry, and take the blame, and everybody can walk away. But I don't know that benefits Justin right now, because like I said, regardless of whatever the settlement is, it's going to come with a bunch of NDAs attached. And if you're Justin Baldoni, there's no way an NDA helps you. It doesn't matter if Blake Lively came to you scrambling and you agreed to it and she makes you sign an NDA, you're still going to look crazy. You're still going to look like the bad guy, and it's going to look like Blake did you a favor. So I don't care what the offer is. You don't take it unless there's no NDAs attached and Blake Lively is the one apologizing. Because if there's any kind of cover up, if there is any type of confidentiality attached, you're the one that's going to look bad. It doesn't matter what's behind the door.
Yeah. I mean, look, these two are just like, they're like two raccoons, trapped at a trash can, there is so much at stake here. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it's still going this far, but it's probably going to go to trial on May 18th. There's so many publicists involved. There's so many crisis teams involved in all of this. And I get the sense that there's two battles waging. There's one in the social media arena, the court of public opinion, and then there's the traditional publications. And I was talking about this morning, like People Magazine, they're sort of invested in access. They need access to the George Clooney's and the Ryan Reynolds, and so their coverage of Blake is a lot more friendly but the court of public opinion is still a blowout, 95% in favor of Justin Baldoni. Do you sort of get the same sense that the court, because the court of public opinion is much more important. If a jury is assembled on May 18th, don't tell me there's anybody on that jury that hasn't been reading this and doesn't know how deeply unpopular Blake Lively is, and not just for aesthetic reasons or because she's rich and snot. But I mean, these depositions, the documents that have come out, the ones that you report on so brilliantly, they're not going in her favor, right? What's the latest on that? What are you seeing?
That's you put it brilliantly. I saw somebody made a TikTok very recently, and it was funny because it wasn't even a content creator. TikTok is a platform where there are people like me who create the content, but then there are people who just have the platform, and every now and again they will make a video and have an opinion about something. And this guy who seemingly, I mean, his follow count was like 20, right? He seemingly just consumes the content. And he was so moved by the way Taylor Swift, at that point, this is when the information was released, Taylor Swift's camp was going out of their way to put out headlines in like the New York Post and People Magazine and Daily Mail and stuff like that to try to change the narrative about how Taylor is a bad person for the text messages. And all in all, his video was like, if you're like in 2025, 2026, a PR person, trying to help your client, and you think getting headlines in People Magazine and the New York Post is the way to do it, you are way behind the eight ball. Like, that is not where nobody is actually getting the news from People Magazine. Like, fine,
Right.
there's still People Magazine and they're going to get clicks, and the SEO manipulation is going to look like Taylor Swift is looking good. But the consumer, the average person, is sitting on TikTok listening to me.
Yep.
The average person is sitting on Instagram watching you. They're watching our reels. They're on YouTube getting, like, people are done with the big headline and no content. They're done with the headline with no explanation. Now people come to people like us who actually took the time out of their day to read between the lines, literally, and explain things in layman's terms for them to understand. Like, there are people walking the street now who can tell you what docket number we are in this case.
Yeah.
Somebody
no
works
kidding.
at People Magazine and cannot tell you that. There's an employee at People Magazine who cannot tell you how many documents we are in this litigation, but they swear they are, the big kahuna publication. So I think if you're asking me if a jury member is walking off the street in New York City and walking into that courtroom tomorrow or May 18th, they're looking at Blake sideways. Like, a working person working a 9 to 5, they're pissed off. Like, why are you wasting their time like this? Because I've explained things to them in a way that they understand.
Yep.
In regular person's English. So yeah, I don't know who is convincing Blake she's winning anything, but it's not going to be with the public.
She's not going to win this case either. She's just got nothing going in it, but pride, ego, and too much invested, like I call it, Lance Armstrong syndrome. Steve is in the control room here, and he has something from the super chat. We love a super chat here, as we're all just hustling.
Yeah, I think Hope at 7144. I think she's along with Elsie. Hope says, IMO, Justin did not crush over Blake, and it hurt her ego. That's her take. That could be the whole thing right here. Maybe.
Oh, what do we think? Elsie, do you think that Justin did not crush on Blake and that hurt her ego? She likes to be, we all want to be desired. I will say that.
Yeah.
Is that
a lot of people have had that take, and even me in the beginning, it was kind of like it's something you couldn't ignore. Like, it had to be one of the possibilities, and it wasn't even as though, I think a lot of people were trying to draw the distinction. It wasn't even as though she liked him. It was the point of she not understanding him, not like fawning over her.
That's what.
Like,
the
how
point
dare
is,
you not be in love like with me? I'm Blake Lively. My hair is barely done. I'm married to Deadpool. Like, you should be in love with just the idea of me. And she couldn't fathom the fact that man was so in love with his wife and his kids. That's all he wanted to talk about. Like, what do you mean we are doing a dance montage and you're telling me about you and your wife having a staring contest? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And I think she couldn't stand that. There is the possibility is very, very real.
Okay, so that was logged in there. That was lobbed in there by Hope. All right, so let's get to some of these things in the deposition, some of these documents, and mostly I want to talk about the cast members, who they just kind of drifted away into the background. They apparently, in the beginning, social media, they unfollowed Justin. We got the sense that they were taking orders from Blake and choosing sides, and the side was hers, and so she had the cast behind her. And then Justin filed a massive countersuit and stood up for himself with absolute, full authority of Steve Sarowitz, his business partner, billionaire, and proved that I'm not taking this shit. And they all got quiet, including Colleen Hoover, the author, and Brandon Sklenar, who had a big role in there, and he just wants to be Batman, so he's just like lying somewhere like, please don't hurt my career. I'm like, I can taste massive wealth and success. He's buying the house next to Michael B. Jordan right now. He's feeling so good about things. He wants this to go away, but He's in there as of late, not looking so good. And Jenny Slate, I think one of your latest posts, Jenny Slate, who, oh my God, is so full of herself at you see there's the interviews she's doing on stage at the Sundance Film Festival, and even the one she did months ago at Good Morning America, where her publicists have clearly threatened successfully these people, as if she's like Meryl Streep or something, that you can't ask Jenny anything about It Ends With Us. So it's always awkward and weird because you're watching her, bloviate about the craft and the business and all that, and all you're thinking is, what happened to you on all of this? What is the latest with Slate? She sort of stepped in it and kind of ruined things for Blake a little.
Yeah, a little bit, and actually a lot bit. I'll take that back. And on the one hand, there she is in the text messages with Blake Lively, kind of going along, and Blake is coaching her on what to say to the producers. Pretty much, Blake will text Jenny Slate in the text messages and be like, "Go tell the producer this." But only things you feel right about, right? Only things you saw, but remember to bring this up. And I don't know that I mentioned this the last time I was here, but you guys know about Jenny Slate needing the new apartment and her going to Jamie Heath for that $15,000.
Yeah, well, she said the apartment wasn't safe in New York where they put her up on this beautiful apartment. She said that there was the thing, where I'm worried my child, she had a baby, could fall out the window. And Jamie Heath went and said, oh, my God, well, let's get you a new one, Baldoni's producing partner, for a mere 12 G's more per month, or 15 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so it was interesting, before we get to the deposition where she pretty much said, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it, she was texting Blake Lively. She was texting Blake Lively. I was trying to be professional, Billy. Don't make me laugh. I was trying to be professional.
Not here.
I'm in my reporter mood. I'm here to bring the facts. So I'm not trying to make y'all laugh. But she texts Blake Lively. I'm going to read this off of here in May 20. Steve, I don't know if you have time to pull it up, but it's going to be document 1245, attachment 50. And pretty much this is where we find out it wasn't really she needed to move because it wasn't safe for her child, but because the apartment and the bed wasn't conducive for sex. She texts Blake Lively and says, I truly am sorry that I made the remark about our tiny bedroom in our shitty Airbnb. I think back on it now, referencing that it was bad for sex and just realizing that it was in a way inappropriate to say. And I hope that you know that I know it wasn't the right setting for that. So at this point, Jenny has said the bed in the Airbnb was bad for sex, which is why she wanted to move. But she told Jamie it was bad for her child, the apartment, and apparently ended up offending Blake Lively because Blake Lively sleeps with her 15 children and her husband. And so when she made that joke and that comment, it offended Blake. And somehow they made it Justin Baldoni's fault.
Shut up, Blake. Your girlfriend can't say, oh my God, the apartment's so small, it's bad for sex. I stand by Jenny saying that to her girlfriend. I don't stand by Jenny then turning around to Jamie and going, it's not safe for my daughter, you liar. It's, like my daughter's going to crawl out of my arms and jump out of the building. So how entitled to expect an extra $15,000 for another place, which is better.
The crazy thing is, Blake says in this text message, she's trying to coax Jenny at this point. So she has no issue with Jenny making the joke. Her issue comes where I guess Jenny made the joke in the presence of Justin Baldoni. Oh. And Justin Baldoni at this point has been at Blake Lively's house enough that he knows they bed share with all their 16 children and their nannies. So when Jenny made the joke that the bed sharing with the kid is bad for sex, Justin went ahead and agreed with Jenny and said, yeah, terrible for sex. And that is where Blake Lively finds the issue, saying Justin Baldoni in a way was making it awkward by agreeing with the terrible for sex because he knows about Blake Lively's sleeping condition. And my point is, why does he know that much about your sleeping condition enough that you would feel awkward about that joke? And why would it be his responsibility to not make that joke? You are grown people.
I think he was SH'd. I think Baldoni was SH, these crazy people talking about this stuff. By the way, the only reason to bed share is if you don't want to sleep with your spouse. I mean, like, you want to avoid sex with your spouse, you put the kids all around you there and be like, I can't, I don't want to, it would be inappropriate.
Bed.
So take that, Deadpool.
Jenny's the position that I think is going to be a big deal. And I think it helps a lot with everybody who likes to attach. There are 9 women in this. And when they say 9 women, they're talking about all the women Blake Lively brought along with her, Isabella Ferrer, Jenny Slate, Vivian Baker, Colleen Hoover, whoever. They asked Jenny point blank in her deposition, well, first of all, Jenny says, this is not my lawsuit. And then they ask her, is there a reason why you did not join Blake Lively in this lawsuit? They said, she says, this is not my lawsuit. And they said, okay, is there a reason why you did not join Blake Lively in this lawsuit? And Blake Lively's lawyer very quickly objects. So does Jenny Slate's lawyer. And then Jenny Slate answers, I felt that I settled my issues on set and I wanted to move on. Because it was never that serious. Justin Baldoni saying your outfit or whatever looks sexy at one point in a conversation where it lasted less than 10 seconds, it's not tantamount to sexual harassment. And Jenny Slate, let's be honest, that was the first time you heard somebody tell you you look sexy in something. You should have said that in a thank you note. We've seen you in that romper. It never gave sexy. It never gave that. It gave chafing. It gave you needed baby oil to walk around. It never gave sexy. So why you thought you could, come on. At least she has the wherewithal to know she can jump on this lawsuit and like add herself in it, which is what I think is so important. People need to understand these women that Blake Lively claim are her witnesses. If this really happened to you, they would blindly just follow you and be like, you know what, throw my name in there. Let me be in this lawsuit with you. Whatever happens, happens. But they find you so dumbfounding and hilarious. They're like, girl, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not about to put myself in debt because you think shit is sweet. We can't do that.
All of this is why Blake should be pushing for settlement, because it just, the more we learn, the more it just doesn't reflect well upon her. So May 18th, it will go forward either partially or in full. And there's no way it gets thrown out. No way that they agree today. So we're going to that, which means you and I will stay in touch as always. Elsie, I love you. Oh my God, her TikTok is crazy.
Don't you love that?
Tell people where you want them to go, most importantly, for every update. Which is your favorite location?
You know,
TikTok?
YouTube, because I get to talk a lot. I get to talk a lot longer because I try to make TikTok and Instagram as like 1 minute, 2 minute, get to the point. But on YouTube, I get to break things down further and show exhibits and show evidence, which is my favorite thing. I like to give you the facts and the evidence on one because I don't like to go back and forth. So, and everybody knows and my name is the same everywhere, really. So it's Elsrich here, it's Elsrich on, and I just got to 33,000 subscribers last night, by the way. So thank you guys. Thank you, Billy, as well. Thank you to Donna, Zach, everybody who
I want that to 40. I want that to 40 when we're done here today. That's incredible. Good for you. I love it.
That. Thank you. But I want to thank your audience too. They love me just the same. Every time they leave your videos, they come to me and all their new ones. I found you from Billy, and I'm like, hey, that guy, I know him. So thank you. Thank you, and Steve, for always dragging me along. I know sometimes it's hard to get a hold of me. I hate texting. I hate my phone so much.
What people don't know about Elsrich is she is a great liquidator of the Midwest. Oh my God. I love you, baby. We're going to go.
Thank you so much, Billy. I love you guys. I'll be back. Just let me know when you need me to come back.
Elsrich right there. All right. To Nancy Guthrie, we go. Listen, before we welcome Paul Ciolino, he's a premier private investigator, forensic. Well, he's a retired PI now, but a forensic coordinator. This is a man, he's an expert in investigation and private security. His nose is never wrong. He is a toucan when it comes to kidnapping, abduction. He was the guy on the Amanda Knox case, and he's the guy you call when you really want to know what happened. So let's get caught up before we welcome Paul here. Of course. So yesterday was nuts when the Nest Cam video came out. It took investigators, the FBI, quite a while to get that Nest Cam video of the abductor on the porch at Nancy Guthrie's house. We see him with a backpack. We see him with the ski mask over with the eyes cut out. He's got a pistol in his waistband in the front. He's wearing leather gloves. He looks a little bit schlubby, bit of a dad bod. And you're saying to yourself, why haven't we gotten this video before? Look, he's now going outside. If you're watching the video with us, grab some plants in order to obstruct the Nest camera. But we're saying this guy's got a body that, like, it's kind of atypical, right? He's if it were an inside job, you'd look at that guy and be like, oh, that's Larry. He's got an ass like that and muffin tops that hang over. You'd be able to know. So we got that, and then word started to spread online on X. about the bandmate. Tommaso is the brother-in-law. Tommaso is the Cioni, I think it is the last name, but he's the brother-in-law of Savannah Guthrie, Savannah's sister Annie's husband, and he had a bandmate. And everyone started talking about the bandmate because he had a rap sheet. And I've looked at the rap sheet. I looked him up. I'm not going to share his name right now. But he had a bad year in 1999, let's say. He was charged for shoplifting in 1999. He was charged for burglary, robbery, and theft and embezzlement in 1999. There was another charge that was unspecified in 1999. So, but it is 2026. But nonetheless, I found the guy's name. I did a little research. I called him. I found his phone number. It rang a few times, and then it went to voicemail. I called 30 seconds later, and just direct to voicemail, he cut off his phone. Other people had found his number. I called his wife. It rang. I left her a message. I also sent her an email. Nothing from them, of course. But anyway, then we all thought there was a major break. Late afternoon, person detained for questioning in Rio Rico, Arizona, south of Tucson, 15 miles from the Mexican border. Rio Rico, Arizona. They've got someone apprehended. They've detained this person for questioning. This person's, Carlos is his name. His mother-in-law could not believe that Carlos had been taken away, and so she came out and she spoke to the press.
In my house without a warrant or nothing. They broke my door. They went inside my house. My son was playing on Nintendo. He had his headphones on. They got him and put him in their cuff and took him outside. And then they asked him what's going on. There isn't anything. Do you have a search warrant? They said they didn't have any search warrant by then. And they still ask him, do you still have a search warrant? And they don't give me an answer.
No search warrants. Okay, so there's the mother-in-law. She's like, yeah, I don't know. He's got his headphones. He doesn't know what's going on. And they grab him in Rio Rico, Arizona. Kind of interesting, right? And then we find Carlos himself. Carlos comes out. He is finally released by police. He comes out onto the porch and he speaks to, once he gets home, he speaks to the media.
Carlos, so sorry to bother you, man. What's your first and last name so we get it right?
Carlos Palazuelos.
Okay, and you were apprehended for questioning. How would you describe what happened to you?
Terrifying. Something I didn't do for something. I was being like, I felt like I was being kidnapped, bro, because they didn't tell me anything at the beginning.
And investigators showed up to this house, or were you the one who was pulled over in the traffic stop?
I was the one that was pulled over at the traffic stop.
Where was that?
Right here on by Chubasco.
Okay, and you were taken into custody at that point?
Yeah.
And you were questioned?
I was being detained.
Detained, okay.
I was detained the whole time.
Okay,
That's
where?
what they told me.
Where were they holding
the
you?
back of a car.
Back of a car.
Miranda car, and then they moved me into a Pima County Sheriff.
Were you being questioned in the car?
At the Miranda car, I was being questioned, but they only asked me for my first name, my last name, my date of birth, and my social.
Okay. What were they asking you about?
Where my whereabouts.
Okay.
Where do I work? Where was I, and all that. But
Are you ever up in Tucson?
yeah, I work in Tucson.
What do you do?
GLS, deliver packages.
Okay, do you think you might have delivered a package to Nancy Guthrie's house?
I don't know. Might have been a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, do you ever deliver like Amazon packages or anything?
Well, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So do you think you may have...
Yeah, so
did they
look,
ever-
the
did they
guy's a
indicate-
GLS delivery service, which is, kind of like a UPS, but a lot more expensive. But anyway, he's a delivery guy. Does a little DoorDash apparently on the side. I don't know. But people say, he went on to say, I don't know, they thought my eyes looked like the eyes of the guy in the ski mask. It's really sort of random that they grabbed this guy, but everybody was depressed. We thought we were making real progress. And then, of course, we find out from Harvey Levin that there was some Bitcoin activity at the address that was given to him when the first ransom note came in, but, only less than $300. Okay, we go to our guest right now, Paul Ciolino, who is, there he is, Paulie, my God, you look amazing. He is a forensic coordinator, retired PI. Like I said, he was the man when it came to the Amanda Knox case. And I told people you're like a toucan when it comes to sniffing out the details of what the hell is really going on here. And that's my first question. What the hell is going on with this investigation, Paul?
Well, I want to know who got grabbed out of that lady's kitchen and thrown into cuffs and taken into custody. Who was that?
That guy?
But he got pulled out in a traffic stop, not in the kitchen, right?
I don't think there's anyone else. I think it's just him so far. I mean, that's the only guy I know of, Carlos.
Yeah, but remember the lady says, hey, he came into my house and cuffed him up and took him out. And then he said, no, I was grabbed at a traffic stop.
Oh, they must have. Yeah, that's right. He is a forensic expert. He's the real.
Yeah.
He's the real deal.
Hey, it's typical of this case, right? I mean, they blew it with the ring camera tapes, and don't believe all this nonsense. Well, we had to go to Google, and Google's really tough to deal with, and we had to search and search. Listen, Google pulled that shit up in about 3 seconds. What happened was somebody forgot to follow up, and some boss is sitting around going, "Hey, where's the ring camera stuff?" And then like 20 guys said, "Uh-oh." And they ran out and they got the stuff. Boy, what would have happened if we got this the first or second day?
Yeah.
When it was there, right, Billy? I mean, it's ridiculous.
I understand Nancy didn't have a paid subscription, and they say, it's because the information's in the cloud, so they only get like motion detection and they only get live alerts. So it took them a while to actually go and unearth the data. It did, but with the FBI, I have to think that is not going to take that long to unearth the data. It certainly.
When the government wants something, they get it, and they don't need warrant. Listen, they're very persuasive, and I've been on the other end of this stuff. All right, and this is such a heater case. No one's going to say no. Somebody screwed up.
Yeah,
and everyone's really critical of the sheriff's office. Well, they treated this as a missing persons case initially, right? I mean, they weren't heated up about anything until these fraudulent, phony Bitcoin letters showed up. The extortion attempt by the Nigerians or Russians, probably, and thankfully she didn't pay them anything.
No shit. I mean, the thing about crypto is it's so unregulated, and it just brings all these creatures. Sorry. Our commander-in-chief has made about north of $1.5 billion on crypto so far. But anyway, it brings in all the sordid characters. And I mean, you've got all kinds of imposters coming in. Do you imagine that's what led to Carlos, by the way? Do you think that's, some kind of false tip that they got that said, hey, check out this guy, like a friend of his or someone down the street who has a beef with him wanted to screw him over?
Yeah. It's going to be an ex-girlfriend, wife, spurned lover, somebody your next door neighbor who thinks you're an asshole. That's the tips they're getting right now. And you got to call all this stuff, right? And they looked at Carlos and went, close enough. Well, 5 minutes with Carlos, somebody who really knows what they're doing probably said, this ain't the guy. Let's get him out of here. Come on.
I know. And it leaves us to like, just, oh God, it's so depressing. This sweet little lady. She's the sweetest, cutest little old woman. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Savannah a little bit. I worked with her for a short time and I've known her over the years, but I just adore her little mom. She's adorable. 84-year-old Nancy. There is a new note that we got this morning demanding 1 Bitcoin, which is $66,000 right now. 1 Bitcoin for information that leads directly to the kidnapper. I mean, you gotta take it seriously. You gotta follow up. It's only 66 grand, but what kind of shitty person, says, here, I'll deliver this 84-year-old beautiful mom and grandma, but it's going to cost you 66 large.
Yeah, well, no one's going to deliver that one.
And you think it's real?
No, I think it's bullshit. If I was working for Samantha Guthrie, I'd tackle her and keep her away from the computer so she couldn't send any of these idiots money. I'll send you some money when I know you got my mom.
Yeah.
All right? They've agreed to it. I would have agreed to it, but you better show me something before I start sending dough out of the account. And you saying you have something is not good enough.
Paul, what do we do right now? I mean, it's what would you have done right off the bat? But what do we do right now? I mean, is this body type of this person on that ring camera? that feels like enough for a giant, an FBI investigative team. And don't forget the power of people on the internet. It feels like it might be. Is it enough? Where do you go from here?
Well, let me tell you, this guy's got enough identifiers. Somebody knows who it is. All right. And if you live in that area, you're paying close attention to this. You're watching all the news and TV. I mean, Tucson's not that big of a town, about 1 million people. This is the biggest thing that's happened down there since their basketball team was good, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, everyone's paying attention, and they're gonna get the right name, but they got to cull through it all, and they've probably got 500, 600, 700 names at this point. And so, what do? First thing you do, background investigation. Pull the guy's driver's license. What does he look like? Does he fit the physical description? If they're even close, they're going to get snagged up. They're going to go get them. Or at the very least, they're going to knock on their door and have a conversation with them. Now, this becomes a little bit dangerous for, male Hispanics who don't keep a nice calendar, who have no friggin' clue where they were a week ago, right? So this, you're going to get a lot of bad leads. There's going to be a good one in there. There's going to be an electronic connection, Billy. That's what's going to break this, right? And when they get the right guy, he's going to give up who sent him, who put this thing together, who's the giant conspirator of this case. And I got a feeling that's not going to be anything the family wants to hear.
Like every guy who gets caught cheating, it's right down to the cell phone. It's right down to the text. It's right down to the digital footprint.
The cell phone's good for one thing, ordering pizza. It is good for nothing else.
Yeah, I hear you. Paul Ciolino, you've done a lot of great work. Really appreciate you chatting with us, getting to know. Is there anything else I need to know before we head out into the world
Well, I don't
again?
have to tell you, just quit listening to these idiots that are, the 5,000 talking heads that are, I'm amazed. I'm embarrassed to do this stuff, to tell you the truth, with the people I'm seeing doing it as well. I mean, they'll grab anybody off the street that's got an opinion at this point.
I know it. I know yeah. Well, that's why you got to have your own standards and hope they find you. Thank you, Paul.
There are no standards. Take care, my friend.
Yep. We're going to give, when we find this guy, by the way, Paul's from Chicago, and he knows this. When we find this guy comes on, we're going to give him a Chicago sunroof. I hope Paul's laughing at that because he knows what it is. And if you don't, feel free to Google. Next up, Jeff Bezos fired 1/3 of the staff at the Washington Post, all from the sports and metro sections. Leaning into the national news, by the way, he's going to go heavy on national news, which for a guy accused, rightfully so, of capitulating, caving, currying favor, I'm trying not to say filleting the president, is a bold move. But it's not all hard news for Jeff. The buzz is he's buying the crown jewel of fashion publications. The CEO of Avenue Magazine, Peter Davis, can't believe it. And neither can I. We'll talk to him in a second, but first, our sponsor, PrizePicks, is the best place to win money watching any sport. And now that football's gone, hello, hockey. The app is quick and easy. All you got to do is pick more or less on a few player stats. You win up you can get 2,000 times your cash on a single lineup. Right now, PrizePicks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. You just use the promo code HOTMICS. Okay? Hot Mics is brought to you also by LAGOLF. Okay? And right now, we are pleased to welcome the CEO of Avenue Magazine, Peter Davis. Peter is he's a true fashionista. He's a man who has covered this. Now, listen, Peter, I want you to know, I've dabbled. My years on Access Hollywood, I mean, did I interview Roberto Cavalli in his London shop? Yes, I did. Have I traveled? I've covered the Met Gala many, many times. The idea, it's not just a rumor, it's like a foregone conclusion with most in the fashion world that Bezos will be buying Condé Nast. Do you see that as happening?
I do see that as happening. It's what people have been saying for a long time. And I like on Instagram to say what people are scared to say. Listen, it was valued at 5 to 7 billion, which is an overvaluation in my opinion. The whole of Condé Nast, and Bezos is worth 250 plus billion. So it's chump change for him.
When
and
is this
also
going to
a
go
jewel
down?
in his crown.
When will this go down, do you think? Is it are there people, is it like in the stages of, Warner Brothers and Netflix? Are we looking at is it that far along?
I think it's happening sooner than people think. Um, the Bezos are hosting the Met Gala. That's a big sign. Anna Winter was in Paris at the couture shows, squiring around Lauren Sanchez Bezos. So I think the wheels are in motion,
Lauren
and people are
Sanchez
freaking out.
Lauren Sanchez Bezos.
Yep.
She, a living autopsy, is something she needs to be studied. She is a powerful woman. I'm going to say this. I like her. I have spent some time with her. She's an engaging person to talk to. She really is. But she definitely just owns this man. I think this is, forget about that giant diamond ring on the finger. This is his gift to her, right? That essentially might make Lauren Sanchez Bezos the next Anna Winter, right? I mean, she'll have an office,
Yep.
I assume, there.
If not more powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Anna
Oh,
Winter's not married to Jeff Bezos.
Anna Wintour is not. And she's, so are people, I mean, people, your colleagues, are they, disappointed in Anna, who seems to she would get a large payday, I assume?
I think should, have a golden parachute. It's really up to the Newhouse family. And, Vogue has struggled for a long time. They really, as people have commented, it hasn't been relevant in many, many years. The last time they made any headlines was when Anna Wintour put Kim Kardashian on the cover. People freaked out, and then they moved on. We did put Lauren Sanchez Bezos on the digital cover when she got married. And I think that this is the new regime. This is the future. Media landscape is changing. And Bezos is like, the robber barons of yesteryear, and he can buy whatever he wants. And Condé Nast is a big, fun toy to own.
Look at this. Jeff, that is his ultimate gift. She was on the cover of Vogue by herself. He's not even there. This is Lauren's. This is her moment in the sun on the cover of Vogue. I mean, that's got to be every woman's dream, right?
Yeah, big time. Actually, my sister-in-law styled that cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in the trenches of the Vogue news.
That's fantastic. Bezos, I understand, is also pressuring Anna Wintour to put Melania on the cover of Vogue, as if Jeff hasn't been squeezed by the Don enough. He's got Trump
exactly.
Is like, what do you think, Jeff? Do you think Melania would look lovely on the cover of Vogue? I mean, you just did the Melania movie, for $40 million with a $28 million talent fee for Melania, reportedly, and now the cover of Vogue. I mean, I think Trump is having fun just making, Jeff get on all fours and do as he pleases.
I could not agree more. And, Melania is the first lady that hasn't been really on the cover of Vogue as a first lady. Jill Biden was. I mean, it's kind of something they always do.
It's appropriate. She's a model. I mean, this one he can get up. She's a listen.
Beautiful.
She looks better in clothes than, if you look at the pantheon of first ladies. I mean,
yeah.
My aunt Barbara Bush was a total knockout, but she's no more.
No, I think it's inevitable Melania will be on the cover, and I think she should be. I mean, who are people talking about right now? Melania Trump.
Yeah.
They're not talking about anyone else, any other female in politics, and they've gone through every single one. Why wouldn't they put her? You've got to put politics aside. And I think Anna Wintour doesn't really have much of a choice. I mean, the last cover was, I don't know, Timothy Chalamet and Nicole Kidman. People fell asleep before they even saw the cover. Melania Trump would make headlines and make Vogue relevant again. Isn't that the point of media, is to get people talking and have a conversation?
Yeah.
Anyone really want to have a conversation right now about Nicole Kidman? She's a great actress, but
the old guard of fashion just needs to calm down, because when the influencers took over the Met Gala, forget about it. The old classic couture, the place to be, the who's who. Like Gwyneth Paltrow, I think did she go on the record with saying like,
she flagged it. I would never go again, I think she said.
Yeah, I would never go again. And by the way, she's got every right. There's so many. It is a different thing. You're not putting.
Yep.
You're not putting those beans back in the can. So
no.
I do think of my old friend, Andre Leon Talley, may he rest in peace, rolling in his grave right now at the idea that Anna has capitulated.
The Met Ball's become more of a Halloween show than high fashion.
Right.
And I think that's the point of it. And that gets clicks and that gets people talking. And Vogue needs more of that. Condé Nast needs more of that. Vanity Fair, I think, since Graydon Carter, I wrote for Graydon and I wrote for Tina Brown at Vanity Fair. And that hasn't been interesting in forever. I mean, the last interesting cover they had that made headlines was Bruce/Caitlyn Jenner, and that was Graydon Carter. Since then, nobody ever refers to Vanity Fair. You know, people are independent. People go to social media, they go to podcasts, they go to you, they go to other people to get their news and opinion. They're not going to Condé Nast, and Jeff Bezos could change that.
Dude, it's hard out there for a pimp. Everybody's got to you got to change, you know? You got to be a shapeshifter. But these covers, are these fake covers or are these like reenactment covers? Elon Musk on GQ and Nicki Minaj on Architectural Digest? Or is this just where it's going? Huh?
Yeah, this is where it's going. This is a taste of the future.
There it is.
Vogue actually had Nicki Minaj on the cover, and I think in 2023. But now's the time that people want Nicki Minaj on the cover. People want news.
That's right.
News happens fast.
Peter Davis, I got those from your Instagram. They're very funny.
It got people in an uproar.
Hey, keep stirring it up out there. It's fun when we talk about. I love fashion.
Yeah.
I do. I don't have the credentials that you have, but I do love it, and I love it's a cutthroat world, and it's
exciting. And I think Jeff Bezos is going to cut right into that world and carve a huge chunk of it and put it on a gold plate for his wife.
And Anna Wintour is going to take a beautiful golden parachute and get out to the Hamptons and just visit with people. Take meetings, have company, sip tea in your backyard of your beautiful big palace. Peter, I appreciate it.
Maybe she'll be able to take her sunglasses off, too.
Never,
look people
darling.
in the eye. Never. We
never,
hope not.
Darling. Peter Davis, CEO of Avenue Magazine, and I'm now going to say our fashion bureau chief for Hot Mics in New York. Thank you, buddy.
I love it. I'm here for you all the time. Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Peter, so much. Well, there you go. I'd like to say, I'm going to say it. I'm going to go out and say it. It was a big show today. Boys? Big show in there?
Yeah. Big show.
I see the guys are just thrilled right there. They're just going nuts.
Yeah. Everybody in here loved the fashion segment, Bill.
I do love a fashion segment. You know, I've always said this about me. Fashion and football, to me, are the exact same thing. There's just, I'm equal. You know what I mean? Okay. That's it for us. Thank you for being with us on Hot Mics today on Facebook, YouTube, and exclusively audio-wise on TuneIn. We are presented by LA Golf. Take your swing to the next level with LA Golf's cutting-edge technology. Visit LAGolf.com. Upgrade that lousy golf game of yours, and we will be back on Monday. Didn't even get to the Epstein files today. You're lucky, Don. You're lucky. But boy, there's a lot out there. In fact, we're about to go do an interview that we will roll back shortly for you that has, with the person who has gone through all of the 2,000 videos they've tried to embed so deeply you can't find them. Okay? That's probably Monday on Hot Mics. But we'll see you on the socials, okay? For all the updates. If anything happens with Nancy Guthrie, we will be giving insight at Hot Mics with Billy Bush on Instagram, TikTok, everything. And of course, tomorrow morning on Morning Mics, right here on YouTube at Hot Mics with Billy Bush. And we do that at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 Pacific, Monday to Thursday. See you tomorrow. Thanks for being with us. Bye. Hot Mics with Billy Bush. Great time.